Hello, welcome to Rafael Technologies again. In this session, we learn the basic things about the edu.net. So let's understand what is edu.net is. Okay, so edu.net stand for Active X Data Object. Okay, the edu is stand for Active Data Object. And edu.net is a database technology of database technology of .NET framework used to connect the with application system and system database server. So edu.net is a part of the .NET framework, and edu.net is consists of the set of class used to handle the data access. So I have a graph in here. Look at this graph, the edu.net architecture. Okay, I download this graph from the internet. If you want, you can follow, download the same things as well. So here's the provider object, there's the common object. Okay, the provider object is .NET framework data provider. Then first we are just in this .NET provider, we have connection and we have command, we have data reader. Okay, with the data adapter, what you can do, we can do the select command, we can do the insert command, we can do the update, we can do the delete as well. Okay, from the database. So this is the .NET framework data provider object, and the common object is data set, like data table connection, data table, data row collection, data column collection, constant connection, data relation connection into XML format, right? So this is the common object and this is the provider object. So still, if you haven't doubt any question about this architecture or edu.net, just feel free to leave any comments in my YouTube channel or in my blog. I'll get back to you. So this is what is edu.net is in very simple word. Okay, let me just explain in this. Understanding this. To understand this tutorial properly, I'm going to use the Windows From application. So what we want to do, we want to just insert the data to our database by using Windows From application. So when you double click this button event handler, then we can write the record edu.net code to insert the data from the information is provided from the text box 1 and text box 2. Okay, and let me just double click the submit button. So here first we need to understand this is the three, I mean the the reference must be it must be added into our project. Okay, otherwise we cannot use this connection string, this connection by in SQL command. Okay, so let me just uncomment this three line, then show you the what is happen. Okay, let me just remove this three line. So as you can see, look at this, all the arrow is showing that the name configuration object does not exist in current context, and you can see that the namespace or SQL connection is cannot be loaded because of missing of using directives or assembly reference. So first you must import these three namespace in your project. Then you can see that all the errors is gone away. Then what you are doing, we are just first we have to define our connection string. Okay, so first what you have to do, we just creating a variable types is string, and you're just giving the name of string. In this string we are just saying that use the configuration manager. Okay, in this configuration manager we can pass the connection string object, and with this connection string object we can pass the name of our connection string. Then we are just adding the connection string. So let me just what I mean. There's another way to add a connection. I'll show you in our next video tutorial session. So understand this is the most good practice to define the skill connection from our app.config file, right? So let me just open the app.config file. Here it is. Look, here's the connection string part. Okay, so I just add a name is Windows from demo.properties, the setting and login string, connection string, and this is the name of the connection string, basically nothing else. So you can give any meaningful name, whatever you want. Then we are just saying the connection string equals to data source. Then we are saying the data source is equal to the name of the server. Name of the server, what is the server is running in our machine. You can check it by, you can take the server name like that. When you just try to connect this, SQL Management Studio to the data server, then the name of the server will be displayed into this, the pop-up window, this pop-up window. Okay. Then what you are saying? Then we are just this is the name of the server. Then we are saying the initial catalog. That means to say what database, what is the name of the database that we want to interact with this connection string. In this case, the name of the database is login. Then we are saying the integrated security equal to true. Then we are defining the name of the provider. Who is the name of the provider? The SQL client. Okay, the system.data.sql client. So this is how you can define your connection string in app.config file. Okay, and let me just open the form. There you go. So this is this is how basically we can add a connection string into our the code behind file. Okay. So if one more thing, when you want to use the configuration manager, so make sure you add a reference into your project like the system.configuration manager. Otherwise, configuration, right, the system.configuration manager. Otherwise, you won't be able to add, use this consistent configuration class into your project. Doesn't matter if you add the reference, add the assembly reference in here. Okay, so make sure you add this, the reference into your project to use the configuration manager. Okay, then what you're doing, we're just using clause. The basically purpose of using clause, you want to open a connection, then you want to close the connection automatically when the request is completed. This is the purpose of using clause. Then we are just creating the SQL connection. Let me just show you the what the SQL connection is expecting. If you can go to the definition, look at this. The SQL connection class is inheriting from DB connection. Okay, and this is the shield class. Okay, so let me just right click service DB class and go to definition. As you can see, DB class is the nothing of the database connection. Okay, DB class connection is nothing, is a database connection, and it is inheriting from the component. Let me just go to the definition of the component. Look at this. This component is nothing, is marshalling by the object. If you have ever worked with the C sharp, the object oriented programming language, so you know the what is marshalling by reference and what is the component as well, right? So still, if you have any question about this, just feel free to leave in my blog or in my YouTube channel. I'll get back to you. Then we are just passing our connection string into our SQL connection method. When whatever we define in this in this configuration manager, the connection string, we pass it into our SQL connection. After that, we are just using the SQL command. So first, we need to define our connection string. Then we must define our pass the connection string to our SQL connection class. Okay, remember you must do it. Otherwise, your application won't be able to add a connection with your database. Okay. Then what do you want to do? Just this is just thinking one step by step. Just first we are creating the connection, then we are passing the connection object into our SQL class. Then we want to say that what is the command we want to execute. Like for example, we want to insert data. This is the insert operation. For example, we want to update data. This will be update operation. In the next tutorial session, I will show you the rest of this. The properties I have already written in here. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in next video tutorial.